In what way is health, particularly mental health, a highly political and potentially radical issue? In my self-care video, I touched on the flawed capitalistic idea that people's worth be dependent on their economic value. This idea is pervasive in how it reinforces the sense that one has to be productive and useful in order to be seen as a functioning adult. This is harmful not only in how it stresses capitalistic goals, placing strain on those still figuring out their talents and on what they want to do, but also how it contributes to ableism, the discrimination faced by disabled, neuroatypical and mentally ill people. The link between maturity and production is one that leads society to treat people with mental and physical disabilities like children regardless of their age. There is an important balance to be struck between self-care, nurturing and providing for your own needs, and contributing to a wider common good. This is not a revolutionary idea, but self-care and contributing to a good beyond yourself are not necessarily two opposite ends of an important spectrum, but overlapping aspects of positive action. This relates to Marxism and how Marx and Engels noted that capitalism had resolved personal worth into an economic value. Now, it should be noted that I use the word Marxist fairly loosely. I'm not alone in this. Marx wrote very little on health or on non-economic forms of community, so Marxian academics throughout history have filled in the gaps based on what they saw to be the general intent of the writing, or updated ideas that were written on to better suit the time, the present day. That's mostly what I seek to do. I don't always identify as a Marxist, academically or politically, but there are certainly times when it is the correct academic school of thought to credit my general thoughts with. The most pernicious and yet least discussed idea of this production equals worth idea is that it feeds into you should have to work for a living, which sounds perfectly reasonable until you follow it to its complete logical conclusion, which is those that cannot or will not work deserve to die. In two recent books, Oliver James' The Selfish Capitalist and Mark Fisher's Capitalist Realism, they address the emotional and social impacts of modern capitalism. In the United Kingdom, for example, depression is now the #1 illness treated by healthcare providers. However, discussions of mental health are often resolved around personal action and what people can do as individuals, which is of course very important and necessary, but like other social problems, mental health requires a community-wide reform-based action. I talk a lot about community because humans are social animals. We thrive together, we tear each other down. We're not the fastest, we're not the strongest animals on the planet. We are intelligent social creatures, and that's how we thrived as a species. So it only makes sense that problems affecting humans need to be dealt with in a social community-based manner. It seems logical to me anyway. Mental health, poverty, crime can't be understood in an asocial, apolitical vacuum. I discuss all of this with greater detail and greater citation of sources in an article I'm linking below. I hope that made sense, and look after yourselves.